Lamar better than Vick?
Yes. I'm taking Lamar Jackson over Michael
Larry
Vick.
Bird never had a bad season.
Lamar Chase is going to have 15 touchdowns.
He may still be the best player in the world. Sports fans, we are live. Welcome to the Sports Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, OG the Beast. I got a special guest with me. As y'all can see, Brandon Bilotti, a.k.a. Bilotti44. Man, what's popping? How you feeling?
I'm good. Happy to be on the show. Appreciate you having me, man.
No doubt, man. No doubt, man. I'm glad to have you on. We definitely going to talk some B-ball today. You know what I'm saying? I know football coming up. I know football is coming up. But we got to make an exception, man. We got the Hooper himself in the building. This man be doing all type of crazy shit on TikTok. Like, I be seeing him on IG, man, doing all type of stunts, throwing the ball off the glass. The man got some bounce. So shout out to you and your pages, man, and your success on social media as of late. Shout out to the loyals that attend the chat, man. I appreciate every single one of y'all. You know, shout out to them loyals over there on YouTube as well. We going to get some people in here as we can, man. Brandon, man, I'm like I say, I'm glad to have you on, man. Why don't you tell the people who the hell you are? If they don't know, they should know, and give them your social medias.
All right, so my name is Brandon Bilotti, a.k.a. Bilotti44. Former Division II college hooper, just recently graduated from the illustrious Elizabeth City State University. Shout out to all my HBCUs out there. You know how it goes. Shout out to the Bros. You already know. Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Had to throw that in there. But I'm also basketball content creator, 750,000 followers on TikTok, 32,000 on Instagram, and just recently started the YouTube. So far, we had just over 3,000 subscribers, looking to get that up. So everything is the same for me. Everything is Bilotti44. It's very easy to find me. I talk basketball on the regular, whether it's basketball movies, basketball comedy, video games. Now I'm about to start streaming the new 2K once it comes out, everything like that. So, that's all it is about me.
That's what I like to hear. Hey, go drop my man a follow, man. Y'all already know, man. This man right here is something else. Y'all gonna enjoy his content, man. He's very creative. Not only creative, he's innovative, man. Like he the key to success on social media is to do some shit that ain't been done. You know what I mean? That's how I got popping. Doing some shit that ain't been done. And I've never seen anybody create scenarios in which his thought process was, hey, I wonder who was the first motherfucker to put the ball through their legs? You know, who was the first person to, throw the ball off the glass and dunk it? You know, who was the first guy to, wear a jersey during pickup? These are all videos he's got right now on his Instagram, on his TikTok. So go check him out if y'all love creativity and innovation. This dude is dope as hell, and I'm glad to have you on, my man.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to all the creators out there. I draw a lot of my inspiration from a lot of different creators in the community, basketball community, the sports community on social media is definitely something where we're looking to uplift each other as much as possible, feeding off of each other's ideas. I'm not the only one who does the videos that I do. I put my own spin on them. Everybody got their own style to it.
Yes, sir. That's the way to go about it. But let's get into this show, man. Look, we had some breaking news. What had happened? A couple of days ago? Yesterday? 2 days ago? Yesterday, I think? 2 days ago?
No, yesterday.
Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Look. It don't matter. It was recent. Donovan Mitchell is now a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Look, the Eastern Conference is stacked. I know the Knicks was in the running. Brandon is a Knicks fan here, and he's feeling it. He's feeling it. But I believe they traded they gave him Colin Sexton,
Lloyd Marketing, and some first-round picks.
Three first-round picks, unprotected. That's important, right? And they're later on draft picks. I think it's like 2025, 2026, and 2029, some shit like that. So it's like basically saying, hey, Cavs, I know y'all young, but if this don't work out and y'all end up imploding, we got y'all, we got y'all shit on the back end. So basically, some people were saying Utah got fleeced. I don't think it's a fleece. I think it's basically if you keep Donovan Mitchell, right? There's my opinion on it. If you keep Donovan Mitchell, if you're Utah, you in a position to where you like too good to miss the playoffs, but not good enough to win a championship, but you're not bad enough to miss the playoffs and be a lottery pick. You see what I'm saying? So you in that tweener stage, kind of like how the Bulls was when we had D Wade and Rondo and them. Like, we wasn't good enough to win a chip, but we was not bad enough to miss the playoffs and be a lottery pick. And that's the worst position you want to be. I don't care what sport you play. Exactly. No man's land. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be there. Right. So I feel like it was something that Utah had to do. They got rid of Rudy Gobert. They blew it up. You know what I'm saying? Now they got rid of Donovan Mitchell. So now they pretty much in the rebuild stage with a talented player in Colin Sexton that they can build around. I know he's coming off a serious injury, but we'll see how that goes. Brandon, as a Knicks fan, and you did not get a chance to land Donovan Mitchell, how does that make you feel, my man?
Look, being a Knicks fan is tough. All right, we go through the same thing every year. It's no doubt that every star player thinks about playing in Madison Square Garden at some point in their career.
No doubt.
Every star player has the Knicks in their top 5, top 3, wherever they put it at some point in time. But then they realize the history of our organization. I'm not a fan of our front office. I'm really not. And looking at the moves that we made this past year, it's really, we in no man's land now. We exactly where Utah didn't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
So what you think the Knicks should do though? I mean, if y'all in no man's land right now, I mean, y'all got some talented players, but y'all not good enough to win a chip, but y'all too good to miss the playoffs. So
what it is, this is where the NBA becomes a business outside of competition. The Knicks can't afford to be trash again. Being in the big market of New York and already having to compete with the star power that the Nets got, the Knicks front office knows that we at least have to be decent. Like, having Knicks fans be able to say, yo, we might make the playoffs this year, that's damn near the equivalent of a championship.
Right.
That's huge for them. Don't get me wrong, as a Knicks fan, I love seeing when we make the playoffs at the very least. But from a front office standpoint, you get to sell playoff tickets in New York City. No matter who, it don't even matter who you playing. Because Madison Square Garden, the energy is unmatched, especially during the playoffs. It's the mecca of basketball. So that's where I'm at on it.
I feel you on that. Did you
like from a strategic standpoint? I want to say, oh, please just blow it up because y'all make horrible moves. Like, we traded Porzingis to get Dennis Smith Jr. We could have just had him in the draft off rip. Like, and now where he at? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I definitely get what you're saying. I definitely – look, man, don't nobody know trials and tribulations better than me. I'm a Bulls fan, so we ain't really been shit since 98, even though we got them 6. But that's all we got, you know, from 2001 to 2008, 2009 when we drafted Derrick Rose, and we only had him for a good 2 to 3 seasons. So we you know – injury history, so I get it. And we was ass, you know, for a while. So I understand where you coming from as a Knicks fan, the frustration. Some of these fan bases out here is just real lucky. Like, y'all Boston fans, y'all Lakers fans, y'all is real lucky, man. Y'all get to enjoy and see and witness greatness on a regular basis. Did you even really want Donovan Mitchell though? Do you think he would have been a good fit? And at the expense of who do you think would have been good to let go of for a Donovan Mitchell to make fit if you New York?
I know we just signed him. I think we paid too much for Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion. Honestly, I might have been willing to give up RJ Barrett also.
Facts.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah. And whatever, if we giving up a couple of picks to go along with it, sure. Because a lot of people not even realizing how young Donovan Mitchell really is. Like, man's only been in the league for what, 5 years, if that?
Yeah.
Like, Donovan Mitchell is younger than Devin Booker.
Facts.
We talk about Devin Booker as if he's got all the time in the world to grow.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's don't get me wrong, he's arguably one of, but arguably the best shooting guard in the league right now.
No doubt.
Pure shooting guard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I agree, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But
exactly.
When it comes to the whole youth or the whole as a shooting guard position as a whole, what Donovan Mitchell brings to a team is what you going to reap the benefits of down the road. Necessarily getting to the playoffs is one thing, but I think there are more valuable pieces in that Utah Jazz franchise than Donovan Mitchell. But if you place him with what they got over there now in Cleveland, that young nucleus that they got, like you just mentioned, Donovan Mitchell's younger than Devin Booker. So now you place a Donovan Mitchell with a Darius Garland, and let me stress this. A lot of people say what they want to say about Darius Garland, but Darius Garland is a dog, and he's the future. Let me repeat that. Darius Garland is a dog, and he's the future. Coming into last season, before, the whole Colin Sexton hoopla between him and Darius Garland, people were saying, well, who's gonna man the point? Because neither one of these guys are distributors. That was the discussion. Neither one of these guys could really dish the rock. Man, Darius Garland came out here and said, look, hold my beer.
People forget that when Garland first got to the team, it was a toss-up between him and Sexton. And they basically flip-flop positions. Cleveland turned Sexton into a shooting guard after he came out of Alabama as a point guard.
Right.
And he wasn't bad. Garland was just better.
Right.
And Garland had that dog in him that we talked about with Sexton. Like everything that Sexton is supposed to be right now, Garland is already.
Yeah, I think Garland.
And that's not a knock on Colin Sexton, but everything that I was expecting out of Colin Sexton coming out of Alabama, I'm getting from Darius Garland right now.
Facts. Facts, 1,000%. Like Darius Garland showed that he could man the point, and unconventionally, because he like I say, they didn't know who was going to be the point guard coming out. It was like both of these guys shared a rock. I don't think either one of them averaged anything close to 5 assists when they played together the previous season. Garland stepped up when Colin Sexton got hurt and showed that, look, I'm that dude. I think Garland gave us like 22 and 10 last year. Like you add Donovan Mitchell with that, who's not really much of a playmaker. He needs the ball in his spots, but Mitchell's not really much of a playmaker. He's an off-ball guard, but he can handle the rock, get to his spots. So I don't think him and Darius Garland gonna bump heads. I think Garland is a selfless player. You know what I'm saying? So him and Donovan Mitchell, they'll be fine. Then you got another young piece in Evan Mobley, who's coming into his body, coming into himself as a elite defender in the low post, matched with another elite defender in Jared Allen. That is trouble. I was against the two big man set, but I saw them. I had Evan Mobley on my fantasy team, so I watched quite a few Cavs games last year, and I saw them sheerly beat teams off of their size alone. So I'm not mad at it. If it works, that's not where the league is at today. But hell, if it works, keep rolling with it. You know what I'm saying? So with that big four, Allen, Mitchell, Mobley, and Garland, the Eastern Conference to look out. So with all that being said, where do you think they fall next year in the Eastern Conference, seeding wise?
I think the highest that they get is around maybe 4th seed.
4th? So you say 4th seed is they ceiling. Because if we're looking at the landscape of the Eastern Conference right now, we got teams like Miami, Boston, Bucks, wherever the Sixers is going to be. I think their main competition with the setup of their team and where they're going to be seeding is probably going to be Chicago and Toronto. Yeah. And the Nets. We don't know what to expect out the Nets, but we're going to get to that later in the show. Right. We definitely are. I liked what Toronto brought last year, but I think they're going to miss the playoffs this year. And I like Van Vliet. Say it again.
I said I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. We just got done talking about how outside of that top 3 in the East, it's really 4 through 11, 12 that's competing for the playoffs and actually have a chance in the playoffs.
I'm telling you.
It's looking scary, and it's reminded me a little bit more of I don't want to go too far back, but like there was a time really like mid-90s where the landscape of the league was so spread out instead of being top heavy with so many super teams like we've seen recently.
Right.
The landscape of the league was so spread out that you genuinely had to worry about the 8th seed in that first round.
Facts. Real talk.
We might be seeing that again. Yeah. But there's a lot of factors that go into that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the landscape of the Eastern Conference. We just talked about it. Miami, Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, Chicago, Brooklyn, Cleveland, like Knicks, like it
Toronto, Atlanta,
Toronto, Atlanta, like it's tough. I think Donovan Mitchell. It all depends on his impact. We know what Donovan Mitchell can do offensively, but will he step up defensively, be a more elite defender like he was, earlier in his career? This is like his 5th, 6th season. Embrace the defensive end of the ball more because this Cavs team is very defensive minded. So if he can embrace that on the wing, which is something that they missing, they just need another shooter at the 3. You could basically at this point put anybody there. You know what I'm saying? So if they can
now they've got Isaac Okoro right there.
Okay, it doesn't even matter. You could put anybody right there as long as they can shoot the ball. Put them right there. You got playmakers. You got everything you need. You got defensive anchors. This team can go places. And I thought the Cavs was scary prior to this trade. With Garland and Sexton. And I'm like, Sexton was coming off a season where he was averaging like 24 a night. So you add him to that mix with a Darius Garland, who's now solidified as the point guard of this team. Look out. The Eastern Conference is going to be tough next year. I didn't even mention Chicago. Like, I didn't even mention my Bulls. I named you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squads and didn't even name Chicago, Atlanta, or Toronto. So
you want to know who this team is reminding me of in a sense?
What's that?
I want everybody, especially if we have younger people watching this show, go back and genuinely look at the 04 Pistons. The reason I bring them up is because on this Cavs team right now, you don't necessarily have like a first team All NBA guy per se.
Facts.
And the only one that we have that's like in talks of maybe being first team if he does well enough is Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
Now, we got 3 All-Stars. We got 3 All-Stars on that team in Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, and Darius Garland. Go back and look at the setup of that Pistons team, how they were so defensive-minded, didn't necessarily have a star player, but had a whole bunch of guys that were owning their role, and everybody bought in on defense. You had Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, and so on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I'm looking at this team, I'm seeing not necessarily like player for player or mirror image. I'm seeing a lot of similarities with this setup of Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen.
No doubt. That's not a bad comparison. The 04 Pistons being like just a collective unit. Everybody has their role. Everybody knows their role and is very defined. We play defense and we force everything to the paint. You know what I'm saying? And you got juggernauts in that paint, man. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, man. Even though Evan Mobley, his frame a little shaky, that boy can play some defense, man. Some weak side defense, he can block some shots. So look out. But we're going to keep it moving. You mentioned Brooklyn as one of those tough teams in the Eastern Conference, right? So now we at the point where Kevin Durant says, look, I'm going to stay. We're going to run it back. Let's see what we do. Now, we got Flat Earth Kyrie. I mean, he's healthy. Hopefully he don't, go on another one of these fasts. Hopefully he keeps his head on straight. The mandate shit is out the window, so we ain't got nothing to worry about. Kyrie can hoop at in New York. You know what I'm saying? So now we got a squad that looks like Ben Simmons, that looks like Kevin Durant, that looks like Kyrie Irving as they big 3 headed into this season. What is your expectations for the Brooklyn Nets? And where do you think they will land seeding-wise in the Eastern Conference?
On paper, it's easy to look at this team and say, oh, yeah, they should win it all. It's very easy to say that. Does Ben Simmons want to play basketball? Does Ben Simmons want to play basketball? Because, look, I can't help but go back and look at last series that we saw him in against Atlanta. And everybody gives Ben Simmons a whole bunch of negativity. I don't think he deserves all of it. I think we're more disappointed with the fact that he has not improved outside of the defensive end since his rookie year. But we're not going to sit here and act like the man can't play basketball.
Facts.
He just probably shouldn't be a lot of teams' primary point guard or sole point guard. I would not mind seeing Kyrie at point Kevin Durant dropped back down to his natural position at small forward and put Ben Simmons at power forward and fill in the spaces where they need from there. The reason I brought up that Hawks series is because it looked like we saw plays that made us scratch our heads and made us yell at Ben Simmons like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then I advise everybody to go back and watch the last 2-3 minutes. All of a sudden, it felt like Ben Simmons was saying, "Now look what I could do if I really fucked with y'all for real. If I really wanted to." What did he do? Rip Trae Young twice and then forced him into 2 more turnovers.
Yep.
And made us think that he was going to give Philly a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm not going to deny the talent that this man has, but does he want to be here?
That's the big question.
And those intangibles that's going to hold this team back. And we're going to be looking at him like, yo, Kevin Durant couldn't make it work again.
Right.
And that's the bad thing. All of it is going to fall on KD.
That's my biggest point. Because regardless of what Ben Simmons does, regardless of what Kyrie Irving does, all of this is going to fall at the shoulders of Kevin Durant. He's the guy that's considered a top 15 player all time, no matter what anybody else does on this squad. I like what you said position-wise when it came to Ben Simmons. I want to touch on that, right? So we got a three-headed monster. Kyrie, KD, Ben Simmons, right? Does Ben Simmons want to play ball? It was reported that he's 100% healthy. He's ready to go. But up here, is he ready to go? That's the biggest thing, right? I think the pressure is too much to handle. Some people cannot handle A1 pressure, right? A lot of people, when they feel that heat and that kitchen started to get hot, they want to break out. And Ben Simmons comes off as one of those type of guys. Real short-winded, don't really have that much patience, and he wants to shy away from the pressure. You know what I'm saying? So let's make him shy away from the pressure. Why not, like you say, put Kyrie at the 1? Why not at the 2 put Steph Curry, right? Solid defender, sniper. Put him at the 2. Put Kevin Durant at the 3, which is his natural position. Put who do they got? Royce O'Neal? Put Royce O'Neal at the 4 and let Ben Simmons play the 5.
That's a deadly small ball lineup.
Damn small ball. Let's make that the permanent. That's not even a def lineup. Listen.
That's not even like a small ball lineup.
Hear me out. People forget Ben Simmons is 6'10", 6'11", damn near 7 feet tall, 240 pounds. Ben Simmons ain't no little boy. To put that into perspective, who's their current center? Claxton? Claxton is 215 pounds, soaking wet. He's listed as 215 pounds. 6'11", 215. Claxton, that's their center. Ben Simmons is all of 6'11", 240. Let that big boy play. He's a mismatch on any given night. How you gonna deal with that if you got Ben Simmons at the 5? I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I hear that lineup. I hear Ben Simmons at the 5, and I love it. Even with him at the 5, I don't mind going 5 out at all.
Me neither.
I think that Ben Simmons' playmaking. Everybody who's saying that Ben Simmons needs to get a shot, that's only if you're gonna have him as your primary ball handler, because he's made it work without one. You know what he's doing? But when he doesn't, since he doesn't have a jump shot, he understands how he's being guarded. Like, let's talk real basketball for a minute. You understand how the defense is going to react to you. So while he's not being guarded, he has all the time in the world to let plays develop and read the floor comfortably. He gets a jump shot. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, he gets a jump shot. We don't know what Ben Simmons looks like trying to make plays under pressure.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. He's never been in that situation. Tubby says, I don't think Ben will like playing the 5. I disagree with that, because honestly, even if let's say Ben doesn't like the idea of him playing a 5, this, as a coach, as a front office, I'm bringing it to Ben like, look, Simmons, we have to put you somewhere where somebody will guard you. If you're standing on the perimeter, my scores are getting trapped. Nobody's going to guard you 24, 23 feet away from the basket. We have to put you 8 to 10 feet from the basket where somebody will guard you. And that's where he'll be, even though a lot of these guys can shoot the ball now, that's where he'll be primarily. And I don't mind him changing his game, running a pick and roll, being a type of player that can catch it, if you get into a switch and go to work, whether it be a big or a little. He's a mismatch. It doesn't matter. Point guards are too small. Centers are too big. If you got the ball 18 feet with a live dribble, Ben Simmons can be trouble. So put him in a position to where the defense has to respect him. That's the problem Philly had. They were putting Ben Simmons in the game in the fourth quarter, and guess what? Joel Embiid has to sit at the three-point line. That's not his strength. That's something he can do, but that's not his strength. Exactly. So now we have to put Ben Simmons somewhere where the defense will respect him, and that's on the block, which is pushing our best player to the perimeter. That's why you couldn't play Ben Simmons down the stretch in the fourth. They had to sit him out. So let's put him somewhere where he could be guarded. Let Ben Simmons play the 5. I'm telling you, that'll be the best thing Philly ever did. And he's a defensive juggernaut. He can guard bigs. You want to talk about a real 1 through 5? Is Ben Simmons. Not LeBron, it's Ben Simmons. Real talk.
Oh, that's a fact.
Like, Ben Simmons got easy 4 inches on LeBron. So, I'm telling you.
4 is OD.
I think Ben Simmons is a legit 6'11". That's 3 inches from LeBron. What's LeBron, 6'8", 6'9"? 6'8" and a half. Man.
He was listed at 6'8" beforehand, and then real hypes came out. And I seen LeBron in person. That boy's 6'9".
You think so? All the 6'9"? Man, Ben Simmons looks 7 feet, man. I seen him standing next to him and KD, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know what these boys is listed at or how accurate that is, but I'm telling you, this is a small league. This is a undersized league. There's no more Shaqs. There's no more Dwight Howards. There's no more Andrew Bynum. You have a Joel Embiid.
With this being a small league, I think it's not necessarily that height-wise, we don't got no more brutes in the league.
Right. That's what I mean.
Jokic and Embiid, Gobert, Giannis, those are the brutes.
Or not even brutes, just guys that primarily want to score in the paint. Where are those guys at? Those guys that's going to make you pay.
Like physically, like
imposing.
Yeah. Like being able to physically impose your will. Like there's no reason we're genuinely looking at a Chet Holmgren and being like, yo, like
he's cool the way he is.
I knew this injury was going to happen, by the way. Just to quickly on that, I knew that it was going to happen.
Yeah? What made you say that?
I didn't think it was going to happen in Pro-Am, but that goes to prove my point. Hoopers need to lift weights now. Like,
bro, you need to strengthen. You look.
Durant, stop it.
You need to strengthen those muscles around that tendon, man, or else you're going to consistently get injuries like that, especially he is frail, man. Like, he is frail. Like, and to be that awkward at that height. Yeah, it's over.
The last report that I seen on him, he about to miss the whole season.
Yeah, it's over with.
Off of a Pro-Am injury.
Yeah.
What did y'all think was going to happen if Giannis lowered that shoulder into him? Or if Embiid lowered that shoulder into him? Or he tried to meet a guy like Gobert at the rim? Like, what
it's
are
OVA.
we talking about?
It's OVA at that point. Chet was going to be popped either way it go. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people see Kevin Durant, who's a rare breed, and they think that could be emulated. Like, nah, those are few. Kevin Durant is a one of one. You know what I mean?
Even Kevin Durant was smart about what he did. Kevin Durant came into the league at 225 generously. You can see Kevin Durant didn't lift to get bigger. Kevin Durant lifted to stay healthy.
Yeah. And
it caught up with him later on. But even then, after the fact, he had to have a strong core. He had to have something solid on him in order to be able to handle the physicality of the league with the way that he plays.
It's crazy. He got a shoulder from not half-hearted but not playoff Bron. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, y'all could blame Bron all you want, but Chet need to hit the gym. I think Ben needs to have his confidence boosted because he can shoot. He does in the Pro-Am games, and he has a nice form. I agree. I saw him.
It's not the same.
Yeah,
not the same.
Yeah, I agree. It's not the same. I seen him, but I'm telling you.
Simmons has never been an elite shooter on any level. Like even in high school, he was shooting threes, but he was shooting high 20s, like 28%. He just had the green light to do so because that was his team.
Right.
Like I don't think when guys see these NBA players in open gym and see them knocking down shots, understand most guys in the league can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
They can't shoot to NBA standards. The NBA is the best of the best. So I promise you, like Rudy Gobert can come to your open gym and knock down a couple of threes.
I'm telling you,
you're gonna be thinking, damn, like he can spot up. Why he don't do this in the league? Because he can't do it on a consistent basis with the best.
Yeah, that's no doubt. I agree because I didn't see Andre Drummond in the open gym knocking some shit back. I'm like, hold on, wait. Then he get in the game, air ball.
I was in high school when that first video came out. I watched Andre Drummond bring the ball up, like him running point.
Yeah.
Clean step back.
Pull up. Yes. Nasty. Never, bro. Never, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a different ball game when you running rec pro-am open gym versus when you got that pressure in the league with 30,000 in the stands and they all chanting your name and they cheering for your squad and you got to make that shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different level of expectation out of each player. So I get understanding what it means to be a professional in today's game, working on your craft. But that's always been my knock on Ben Simmons. I just don't think he works on his craft because I give this example out a lot when it comes to Simmons. Like, I like what he brings to the team. And I'd like to look at it as, don't tell me what a player can't do. Tell me what he can do, and let's figure out where to put him. You know what I'm saying? Like, Simmons is in that. Like, I know he can't shoot, certain things that he can't do, and I feel like he doesn't work on his craft. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't care who you are. If you're working on your craft, you can't wait to show people what you've been working on all summer. And for you not to even attempt three-pointers, for you not to even say, look at what I've been doing, for you not to want to step out on a – bro, game one. If I've been getting up 500 shots a day for 3 straight months, game one, opener, my first shot is a 3. Because I want to show everybody what I've been working on. So for Ben Simmons to not even attempt 3-point shots lets me know he's not working on his game.
I want to speak on that just one more time. Like, when it comes to Ben Simmons – and – I have a high respect for the abilities that Ben Simmons has. However, I didn't like him coming out of college. If anybody knows, y'all remember Ben Simmons at LSU. I remember when his documentary came out. That made me not like him even more. I was one of those kids that was still in high school watching Ben Simmons and all the articles saying, "Oh, he the next LeBron," and I wasn't jacking it at all. Then I seen what his personality was like in his documentary. And don't get me wrong, Ben Simmons coming over from Australia, he got a different culture, so like he didn't want to go to college for real. Let's be real. Like he didn't want to be in college ball for real at all. He wanted to go straight to the pros,
to come straight in.
He had to play some type of college ball. He couldn't just take a whole year off and not play ball type, right? But look, he's at LSU, and you would think that you make the best of the time while you're there. That's what any competitor would do. This is where something up here
psychological with him.
You would think that put Kobe, a guy like that. We saw what Jordan was doing while he was in college. Put Kobe in college for a year. Put that type of guy in college for a year. Even if he knows he's NBA bound already. You mean to tell me that he's not gonna go out there and try to kill?
Dominate.
You mean to tell me Kareem couldn't come into the league and just kill off rip? We see, as much as I think that he's getting a little overrated, we seen what Zion was doing in college, even though he's one of the rare guys that we thought he probably could play in the league right now.
Facts.
Out of high school.
There was no question for me.
We saw what guys like that had that dog in them was making the most out of that 1 year. When I seen Ben Simmons stop playing, not because he got hurt or whatever, or I'm already the number 1 pick, I'm going to stop going to class, I'm going to blow off practice, I'm not going to help my team win, I don't even want to be here for real. That's when I'm like, and I took it personal because I was one of those kids who was fighting for a scholarship.
Right.
So you mean to tell me you at LSU and you don't even want to be there for real?
Right.
Like, at that point, excuse my French, but I was like, yo, suck my dick. I don't like this dude.
Yeah. I get it, especially if you in that situation yourself and you looking at it from the standpoint of, damn, dude, you got everything at your front door and you're not taking advantage of it. And even now, like sitting out all that time.
Anthony Davis racked up every award and accolade that he could have at Kentucky for 1 year. Like,
that's like, bro, like, to go back to your first question, does Ben Simmons want to play basketball? You know what I mean? Like, because I look at him and I'm like, this doesn't
shine away from the pressure.
He doesn't come off as a guy that has a legit love for the game, and I think he may just be doing it. Like, look, Trail says, to be honest, Ben Simmons has the best build wise in the league. He just don't know his potential. And then Tubby say, I think Ben doesn't love basketball. He's just gifted and good, so he does it. And to be honest, there are people that's put in that situation where they got that pressure on their shoulders to where it's like, Ben Simmons was God-gifted frame for basketball. 6'10", 6'11", 240 pounds, built like a Mack truck. Long arms, mobile. He's not clumsy. Most 6'10", 6'11", 7-foot guys is clumsy. Ambidextrous. Like, I just don't – it's unfathomable. So that's what leads to me to believe maybe somebody's kind of forcing Ben to utilize his talent and God-given ability, because I think from Ben Simmons, what you see is what you get. Because I'm a guy that's a firm believer that this dude doesn't work on his game. I'm a firm believer of that. Like, so he's Michael Vick in 04. What you see is what you get night in and night out with Ben Simmons. I don't think he's working on his game. I think he's working on his Fortnite game, but I don't think he's working on his game.
I don't know football for real. I ain't even going to touch that, but 04 Mike, I know
04 Vick was but he never worked out. He was Booby Miles. Yeah. He never worked out. He never studied his playbook. Mike Vick was, if I identify man-to-man, I'm gone. First read, I'm gone. He never went through his progressions. Mike Vick, he admitted it when he went to Philly. So imagine. So what you saw from Vick, what you know about him, you don't know much, but you know who the hell Vick is, and you seen him. So what you saw from Vick was a guy that just suited up and played.
There's natural talent.
Natural talent. God-given. He didn't work. That's crazy to say that.
That's wild.
So Ben Simmons, with no effort, is giving you 17, 7, and 7. So imagine if he applies some pressure. You know what I mean? Ben Simmons, that's why the LeBron comparisons were so prevalent, because it's oozing from him. Like, you could just see his potential, but he just refuses to utilize it. But I mean, it is what it is with the Nets, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they finished first or second in the Eastern Conference. I wouldn't be surprised if they finished 8th because of all the hoopla and bullshit that comes with Brooklyn and New York. So, I mean, it is what it is with them. Yeah, it's definitely a coin flip. Like, nothing is consistent. Like, I'm more sure about the Cavs than I am with Brooklyn, just because of all the shit that comes with it outside of basketball. So we'll leave that there. But me and you had a discussion on the live, which is what brought us here, actually, right? And you said something to me. You said LeBron James is a better scorer than Kevin Durant. I need to know your reasoning for why you believe LeBron James is a better scorer than Kevin Durant. Let me hear that.
All right. So when I'm looking at scoring, talent has to match production. We can all agree on that, right? So, like, you're not going to sit here and tell me, oh, I'd rather have 22 scoring like Kobe than have 30 scoring like Shaq, right? All right. So not only is their production neck and neck. I think I don't mind when people say that Kevin Durant is the better scorer. My problem is when they think it's just That is not the case. We've seen LeBron do things that we've never seen Kevin Durant do. We've also seen Kevin Durant take on being the more versatile scorer all at once. That's where the difference lies. Kevin Durant has always been able to display scoring at all 3 levels throughout his whole career at one point in time. Like it's never been, KD. The only thing that we've heard from that you brought up was KD used to struggle with his pull-up going right because it was an awkward motion for him. And once he figured that out, it was game over, which is fair. Mm-hmm. Completely fair. I've seen different versions of LeBron and seen him add different scoring tactics to his game to where over the course of his career, he is just as versatile as KD. And here's why. We saw Bron come into the league 03 till I'll give around 2010, those early Cleveland years. Bron was mainly a slasher and slowly developed a jumper, a consistent jumper. I'm talking just, he has moments where he hits some threes later in the game because he ain't got no other option. Or he'll hit a pull-up every now and then. Most of his game was getting to the rim. It always has been. That's his number one strength.
No doubt.
When he got to Miami LeBron to this day, to me, is the best version of LeBron that we've seen.
Facts.
When it comes to the combination of skill and athleticism.
Yep.
Because I saw a version of LeBron be able to run point, be in a triple-double threat, right? But we're talking about just scoring right now. I've seen him post up on the block. This was the summers where he's working out with Hakeem, and now I'm seeing Bron get to his bag with jump hooks with either hand. Now I'm not necessarily the turnaround yet. That don't come until 2017, 18. I'm seeing a LeBron that's now being able to score from the post like a big, but also score from the perimeter, shooting over 40% from the three-point line, like making dudes respect the fact that he can shoot the ball. And then I'm seeing a little bit of a mid-range pull-up in the when we get to the elbow.
You see what you see what you're saying?
Down,
cross,
pull up in the.
You see what you're saying? The progression you've seen from 03 to 08, from 08 to Miami, from Miami back to Cleveland. You've seen him add things to his game. To me, exactly. That's what allowed LeBron to be the player he is today and progress and age well as the years progressed, because we saw Jordan do it. Jordan wasn't Air Jordan in 96. He was fadeaway Jordan. You see what I'm saying? He was playing above the rim from the 80s into the early 90s. Then as he aged, he had to, athleticism starts to waver. I have to figure out another way to put the ball in the hoop, right? So he started to shoot fadeaways. He started to live underneath the basket. Same thing happened with Charles Barkley. Terrible three-point shooter, but he had to spread his game out later on in his career if he wanted to last in his league. We seen Kobe go through it, the maturation. You know, Kobe was above the rim. Crossover, get to the bucket, high rise, watch your head. But as he started to age, Kobe started to utilize his footwork more, getting into his spots more, taking more efficient shots, and not just – whatever I want to do, chucking shit up just because I'm Kobe and I'm going to get another shot, right? Kobe started to pick his spots more and utilize his footwork more, utilize his brain more. He went to the chess move instead of the checkers move now, right? So the same thing happens to LeBron. So that's what you expect from an all-time great. Now, do I want to give him extra kudos for doing something that other players have set the standard of? No, of course not. But what I will say is this. Although I've disrespected LeBron James from a scoring standpoint in the past, I'm not going to do it anymore, considering he's about to be the all-time leading scorer. This man is a 27-point per game average for his career. So I refuse to take that angle and say he doesn't deserve to be where most people have him at when it comes to scoring the basketball. But when it comes to a guy like Kevin Durant was 30. Kevin Durant was 30.
Let you finish. You let me finish. I'm going to let you go.
Kevin Durant was 37-6 on damn near 50, 40, 90 last season. Over an 8-year stretch, Kevin Durant was 28-7-5 on 51% from the field, 39% from three, and 88% from the free throw line, which is a place that LeBron James struggles. Mightily. LeBron James.
Mightily? All right, mightily is a stretch.
Okay. For an all-time great, LeBron is a career 75%.
All-time great? Sure.
LeBron is a career 73% free throw shooter.
Okay, 75.
It's not 75 no more. It used to be 75 before the past 4 seasons.
Hear me out. If we're talking about the knock on his game being average at something, come on now. Average
for an all-time great?
Kevin Durant got him beat from the free throw line significantly. He's got him beat from the three-point line in volume and percentage. Getting to the rack is where Bron makes up for all of that.
See, that's why I disagree. That's the disconnect to me.
Down low, because look, as much as we say Kevin Durant is one of the best mid-range scorers of all time, that's a fact.
Facts.
Like if I'm going for a turnaround, Kevin Durant has been way more consistent with a turnaround because we talking just scoring skill because the numbers cancel each other out. No, they both average the same amount of points. Bron's more efficient from the field. KD's more efficient from the three-point line and the free throw line.
Yeah, I just checked. LeBron is career 73% now.
73. Okay.
Yeah, I literally just checked. He's career 73. He dropped.
All right, that's good. So what?
I say he dropped. Over the past 5 years, he's been treacherous from the line.
All right, that's fair. Now, hear me out on this. So I've already laid out how the numbers cancel each other out. Now, here's where the argument comes in. Like I said earlier, I don't mind when people say KD's the better scorer. Like, it's all subjective. But we're not gonna make it seem like it's just miles ahead.
Okay.
Because the same way that we see KD on the perimeter doing all of that, we've never seen KD get into a post bag at 7 feet. But Bron doing that at 6'9".
I mean, he got a fade. He's not gonna back nobody down left hook.
We've seen both of them hit a post fade, but it's more than just that. I've never seen Kevin Durant come across on a consistent basis with a jump hook with the left hand like
Nah.
I've never seen KD hit him with an up and under like Hakeem. I've never seen that.
Here's the
but
thing,
I've
though.
seen a consistent version of LeBron doing that.
It's like this, right? When you have a weapon of mass destruction that you obtain, it's hard not to utilize it over and over and over and over. It's hard not to.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So when you're Kevin Durant and I only need 13 shots to get 30 and I got this one dribble pull up or I got this fade, nobody can block my shot. I could just, out of a triple threat, his triple threat is so scary. I'm not calling it Carmelo or Jordan or nothing like that. But Kevin Durant with a live, that's what I'm saying. Kevin Durant with a live, though.
I think Kevin
one dribble
Durant's
pull up to the left
is a little overrated to me.
You said what?
I think Kevin Durant's triple threat is just a little bit overrated.
You think so? Man.
Just a little bit. Here's where I'm at on that. I've seen Kevin Durant made uncomfortable by a lot of different defenders. Now, don't get me wrong. This is the best contested shooter of all time. I've already told you my theory about KD's scoring. I think that all he's doing when he creates space for himself is to see where he's at on the court so he can see the basket real quick and say, okay, this is where I'm pulling up from. I know I'm going to be able to get my shot off over this dude. When he's guarded by guys that are damn near the same size as him, and this is why I hate the NBA because they make rules, but they don't hold everybody to the same standard, as we just saw in the new Untold documentary. If y'all ain't watched it, go watch it on the Tim Donaghy reffing scandal and all of that. Kevin Durant was bait. I'm going to use Giannis as an example. Kevin Durant was baiting Giannis. Everyone knows Giannis is using his length on the perimeter. Nobody ever said that he's this elite defender that moves his feet, cuts everybody off, and takes everything to the chest. Giannis knows that he's just mobile enough to keep up and uses his length to his advantage. So when Giannis is playing good defense with one hand out, and the NBA just made the rules about leaning into defenders, kicking out on purpose, and doing all that extra stuff trying to draw contact, and then I see Kevin Durant off with the rip through foul and get Giannis in foul trouble off that. That's a sign of stars not being a little bit above the law in the league, which we've seen before. That's why I say it's overrated. Because when I see Melo's triple threat game, don't get me wrong, Melo has done that occasionally. But I've also seen Melo put the ball above his head, which fundamentally speaking, you're never supposed to do. But Melo back here creating space by putting his leg out in between the defender's legs. One dribble, step back, quick release, just enough to get it off, bang.
His is up there with Mike's.
Melo's triple threat game is on something different.
Here's what makes Melo. This what make Melo triple threat game elite as hell. His quick first step. He's such a threat to blow past you that you have to react to every move he makes out of the triple threat. You know, you see some people in a triple threat, 18, 19 feet from the basket, and the defender's not really reacting to all of his fakes and his fint. You have to react to every single fake Carmelo Anthony gives you because it's quick first step. If he jabs and you don't react, he's going around you. Oh, you think it's sweet? Okay. Boom. And his explosion.
And it's not just that step. The shot is quick too.
Right.
So every pump fake, you got to react.
You got to react, man. And that's what made Carmelo so nasty, man, 18 feet from the basket. And he could play bully ball with you too, and that's the finishing touch on the triple threat. If he decides to back you down, like, it's wraps. So, I mean, I agree. Kevin Durant, it's not the best triple threat, but he's still good at the triple threat simply because he's unguardable. If he's one dribble pull up to the left, you're not stopping it. And you have to respect him. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy to me. The variation of ways that Kevin Durant can score is just unmatched to me, all on an all-time level. And speaking of which, let's get to top fives, right? Like, y'all know I love my rankings. Anybody out there that knows me knows that I have to have my rankings in every show. Some type of ranking we going to get it popping with. And we got 3 rankings we going to settle today. We got 3 rankings we going to settle today, right? First ranking is going to be top 5 scores of all time. Remember, just give them to me straight from 5 to 1. 5 to 1. Let me get your top 5 scores of all time.
All right. 5, Kareem. 4, Kobe. And they're interchangeable. 3, AD. 2, Bron. Interchangeable. And 1 is Mike.
I'm not mad at that. I'm honestly not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. So you got Kareem, Kobe, KD, Bron, Mike. Okay. Let's do mine, right? Let's see what I got right here. All time. At 5, I got James Harden. Listen. Putting the ball in at 5, I got James Harden. At 4, I got LeBron James. At 3, I have Kobe Bryant. At 2, I got Kevin Durant. And at 1, I got Michael Jordan. Now,
we agree somewhere. So we agree somewhere. I'm with that. Harden at 5 is where I'm like.
Here's why.
I think it's more of the bag rather than.
See, here's why. Here's the thing. When you doing rankings and you doing lists, it's all about what you value, right? That's why everybody's list is different, because different people value different things more than other things. So the criteria may be the same, but I might value bag and consistency. You might value production over skill. I might value skill over production. With the Kareem pick, it seems to me that you're valuing production because his variation of moves was non-existent, but you have him as a top 5 scorer.
That's actually not why I had Kareem. Production plays a factor. But when I look at Kareem and I'm looking at a scoring big, it honestly, when it came to bag or versatility, it was a toss-up for me between Kareem and Hakeem. Just because when we're talking about post scoring, because scoring is not just a guard thing.
No.
Get that out the way. Kareem knew his go-to and is one of the best shot, arguably the best shot of all time, most unblockable shot that you got. But then on top of that, there was consistency along with it. He's not the all-time leading scorer with over 20 points per game over his for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. That's that weapon of mass destruction that I was talking about earlier, where you got a weapon and it's like, if it ain't broke, don't break it. Why would I go to anything else if this sky hook is you can't touch it. So I understand that aspect.
It's efficient. On top of
it's extremely efficient. I mean, James Harden was 29, 7, and 6 for 8 straight seasons. You know what I mean? And he was shooting, 45, 46% from the field, 36, 37% from 3, damn near 90% from the free throw line. So it's like Harden, we can't deny that stretch that he had. He's not the same guy today. But when Harden was in his prime and in his peak and he was putting that ball on the deck, couldn't nobody do nothing with it.
I'm glad you said that because my current list, a lot of people ain't gonna be happy with it.
Like, let's get into that right now. So give me your top 5 scorers currently in the NBA right now.
Currently in the league. All right. So hold on. Before we get into this list, we're saying top 5 scorers today. I want to clarify that the list ain't just based off of just this one season. Production has to be sustained over a certain time period. Whatever time period you go with, that's on you. But I'm not going off of just one season. Oh, he got 30 last year. He's a top scorer. No, especially when situations change. And as situations change, does your play still stay the same? With that being said, at number 5 for top scorers in the league today, number 5 I got Giannis. Number 4 I got Kyrie. Number 3 I got Steph. 2 I actually have LeBron. And number 1 I have Kevin Durant.
Ooh, look at you paying homage. It's probably because LeBron 50. That's the only reason why you pay homage.
That's not why.
Okay. My list is a little bit different from yours, but I like it. My top 5 is, at 5 I got Joel Embiid.
Okay.
At 4 I got Luka.
It's an honorable mention for me.
At 4 I got Luka. At 3 I got Kyrie. At 2 I got Steph. And at 1, I got Kevin Durant. I do not have LeBron James in my top 5 when it comes to scoring, even though he averaged 30 last season. I think he got a lot of that in garbage time.
I can't jack that whole 30 that he averaged.
Nah.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Nah.
I can't jack it. Don't get me wrong, the volume and production is there, but we know what the situation was with that Lakers team.
Exactly.
I can't jack it.
Exactly. So the reason why I got Embiid in my top 5 is because you can make a legitimate case that Joel Embiid is one of the most skilled players ever, like not just in today's game, ever. I actually have him in my top 10 most skilled players of all time. You know what I mean? So I value variation. I value how you get it done, actually probably more than production, you know? A lot of my boys make fun of me. They say, "OG, you like that pretty shit." You know what I'm saying? I had my man Smart Takes on the episode on the pod a few weeks ago, and he said the same shit. Like he was like, you like Bill Russell. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain over Bill Russell because Bill Russell game wasn't pretty. You know, so he was like, I don't care how pretty it looked.
Bill is over Bill Russell. Let's get that out the way.
Right.
Bill is over Bill Russell. We don't even got to get into that.
Right. No doubt. No doubt about it. No doubt. I agree 1,000%. But he doesn't. You know, he got Bill Russell over Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was not in his top 5. He had Bill over Wilt. And I'm like, bro, he was like, man, you just like the fact that you know, regardless of how pretty it look, woo, my boys tell me that shit all the time. OG, you like that pretty shit. You just like you like Kyrie because his game pretty. You know, you like Baron Davis because his game pretty.
I feel the same. I feel that way.
I might, based on how I rank shit and the way my mind works when I'm thinking about my rankings, production matters. But I think variation matters more than production. For instance, you got Giannis in your top 5. I don't, simply because of variation in style. The way you valued production with that pick, I would value variation in style instead, right? Even though the 30
That's why I took Kyrie on top of that.
Right.
Because it's not just the production.
Even though Giannis averaged 30 last year.
It's also, so what?
Giannis averaged 30 last year.
Oh, best believe I know.
Kyrie averaged 27.
League right now outside of Russell Westbrook.
Kyrie averaged 27 last year, but I'm taking Kyrie 27 over Giannis's 30 simply because the total bag, you know, the total package. That's just how I am. You know, I like pretty games. You know, it is what it is.
Let's be real. There's a limit to it, though. There's a limit to it.
Oh, most definitely.
Because you value the versatility over the production. I highly doubt that you taking a 22 from Chris Middleton over a 30 from Giannis.
It's not variation, though. Chris Middleton, you know what he gonna give it. You know how he gonna give it to you. Chris Middleton, he can shoot the long ball, and he's a mid-range shooter. But Chris Middleton bag ain't deep. So if the 22 was Kyrie on an off year, but I know that bag deep, I might take that over a guy that was giving you 20. If Giannis dropped.
What about Paul George?
Bag. My God. You know how bad I wanted to put PG up here?
I think Paul George is one of the most talented guys coming to, like, the deepest bag.
If
One of the
PG
deepest bags in the
averaged,
league.
if PG averaged 27 a night, he was going to be on this list. But because that production wasn't there, I wouldn't have been truly able to validate that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's a limit. Everybody takes these things into consideration.
Right.
It's about where they fall in the rankings.
Facts. It's not just, this guy's got a pretty game, but he averaged 18.
I actually had Embiid as an honorable mention for me. The only thing that was holding him back was consistency and injury. That's the only thing. Because my thing is, production is up there for me. I think that he's one of, if not, he's obviously top 2 center in the league, and I think he's also a top 2 post scorer in the league. And I love that about his game. But when you're not playing anywhere close to all 82 games over the course of my last 5 seasons, you're minimizing where the drop off can be.
I get that. I get that.
Like Harden, the reason he's not in my top 5 anymore is because we saw the drop off.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing a version of him that's trying, that goes back and tries the old stuff that we love to see from Harden, and all it does is bring the offense to a standstill, and it's doing more harm than good.
Now we gonna see how James Harden adjusts to this, athletic fade. We gonna see if he makes that same transition Kobe did, Jordan did, LeBron did, Barkley did. Can he elevate his game? James Harden he doesn't take any mid-range shots. James Harden is either 3-pointer or layup. He's just straight analytics. Like 3-point layup. He needs to integrate some of that 18-foot mid-range work into his game, and I think that'll not only increase.
It has to go beyond a step back when you're cut off going to the basket and there's only 3 seconds left on the shot.
Right.
I'm not saying every move has to be premeditated, but you have to know how to get to that spot.
Exactly.
And have it be part of the bag, part of the plan.
Yeah. I don't understand why that has never been part of it. I do. Actually, I do. Coming up in Houston under I can't think of the general manager's name right now, the owner and all of them, but they're very big on analytics. Daryl Morey, very
He's big on analytics and 3-pointers.
Yes. So
just to put it in perspective, and this will also go with how the game changed over time. The Rockets in '95 were number 1 in the league in 3-point shooting like 22 threes a game, something like that. And Hakeem was just down there racking up all the rebounds.
Harden shooting 22 threes in 2 games.
Exactly. They were at the bottom of the league just before Harden got there and put up 33. And once Harden got there, it skyrocketed into the top 5.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just the way that they set up their analytics, they just want guys chucking up threes because I think their goal is to get up 50 threes in a game. If you can get up 50 attempts. Right. If you can get up 50 attempts and hope you can hit, 40% of them, they feel like that's more valuable to them than guys shooting layups and whatnot. So that stripped James Harden of his mid-range game, and he has to get back to shooting mid-range jump shots. So hopefully this year we'll see if he can make that adjustment. Because
I don't think James Harden develops into that Kobe-esque scorer moving forward. I think his game molds into being more of a point guard, not necessarily Rajon Rondo point guard, but like closer to a Steve Nash-esque point guard.
I'm not mad at that.
With better defense.
I'm not mad at that at all. But since we was talking about the most skilled players of all time, let's get into that list. That's another top 5 that I wanted to dive into. So, Brandon, give me your top 5 most skilled players of all time. Now, I don't care about accolades. I don't care about championships.
Looking at the bag, right?
I'm just looking at bucket getters. That's it. So give me your top 5 most skilled players of all time, if accolades didn't matter.
The 5th spot is a debate for me. It's a toss-up. But I'm going to go with Steph. Steph is 5 for me. 4 is Hakeem. 3, Kobe. 2, LeBron. 1, Mike.
1 is who?
Mike.
Oh, I thought you said Duncan. I was about to say, hold on.
No.
All right.
He's an honorable mention.
Okay. Most skilled. At 5, I got Kyrie. At 4, I got T-Mac. At 3, I got Hakeem. At 2, I have Kobe. And at 1, I got Jordan. Let me explain myself.
Go ahead.
When coming up with this list, I factored in the defensive side of the ball as well because that's a skill set to obtain, right? You can't just be coming out here just chucking up shots.
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I factored in the defensive side of the ball. Michael Jordan is the greatest two-way player of all time, arguably the best perimeter defender we've ever seen. Kobe Bryant is a 9-time all-defensive first team. He's strapped. And on the offensive side, arguably, he get everything from Jordan. We see what he can bring on the offensive side of the ball from footwork, from long range, long ball shooting, mid-range shooting. It wasn't a damn thing Kobe couldn't do on the court, right? Then we get to Hakeem, arguably the best two-way player ever, right? Especially from the big position. He's the greatest two-way big we've ever seen. This guy can give you 25 on one night and block your shots on the other end 4 times in a game, on the other side of the ball. So, and we know what he was offensively. His skill set was remarkable. Best footwork I've ever seen. Tracy
That's
McGrady.
Go-to for any big.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Tracy McGrady, solid defender, but there was nothing he couldn't do on the offensive side of the ball. And he was
6'8" Kobe.
And he listen, T-Mac might have been 6'10". Like, I'm telling you, like T-Mac might have been 6'10", bro. Like,
we gotta talk about that before this show is up too. We gotta talk about players' height before the show is up.
Like, man, like it's crazy. T-Mac was so offensively goddish that I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. Like, Mac especially, like, okay, people might try to make the argument for he wasn't as efficient as other scorers were, but T-Mac was a one-man band, especially when he was with Orlando. T-Mac was a dog, man. Kyrie, the greatest,
the magician.
The magician, man. I just seen an interview of Kyrie talking, saying he was ambidextrous.
Yes, and it wasn't one of those things that he was born with. He actually had to develop his right hand because he went to Catholic school. And they didn't allow him to write with his left hand. So it's almost as if he had to unlock both sides of his brain.
Man, when he said that, I said, "Wow."
And what that does, when I'm looking at Kyrie now, it has to contribute to the handle. Like that's what after seeing that interview, learning that's what made it a toss up for me between him and Steph at my 5th spot. Not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I went Kyrie. Steph is my favorite player in the league, one of my favorite players all time. He's tremendously skilled, but man,
I think his skill gets overshadowed
because of his
ability to shoot the long
I agree because he finishes at the basket at an alarming rate considering how many 3-pointers he does shoot. But when he decides to attack the basket, I think he's making that shot at like 85%. You know what I mean? Versus guys who attack it more often than he does, like Westbrook, even though it's a layup's a layup. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys are shooting the layup at 50, 51, 52%, while Steph is shooting it at an alarming like 85%. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's an underrated aspect of his game, but it's just Kyrie, either hand, the best English on the ball I've ever seen.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. Go on. I want you to finish first.
That's pretty much it. You want to talk about it? What's popping?
All right. So look, a lot of people about to be like, "Yo, how'd you have Steph over Kyrie?" And we talked about this beforehand. Now, when it comes to skill, I'll give ball handling to Kyrie for sure, like without a doubt. And everybody knows shooting is gonna go to Steph, like without a doubt. All right. Now, beyond that, neither one of them really known for defense, so I'm not even gonna factor that in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like neither one of them is a sit-down, lock-up defender.
Not at
neither
all.
Neither one. All right. Here's where Steph's skill, and this is what I was talking about when it gets outweighed by his ability to shoot the long ball. Steph's footwork on the guard spot is some of the best that you'll see in the league. His ability to create space and move efficiently on the court is unmatched. And here's why. A lot of y'all play 2K in here, and y'all know why. Y'all know that the Curry slide is a cheat code. The Curry slide ain't just in 2K. The Curry slide is in real life also, all right? And here's why. Steph understood that as a 6'3" guard, he's going to have to get a shot off quick. But in order to get your shot off, he's not going to be able to shoot contested threes like Kevin Durant. Oh, no. So this is what, even though his shots look contested, they're really not, and here's why. Curry slide is so deadly because when Curry is going behind his back with one dribble, he's letting that float in his hand. And when the defense is guarding you, they're taking one big step trying to recover that space, while Steph is taking 3, sometimes 4, 5 steps in between that one big step. So when the defense has lifted their foot, Curry can quickly move in the opposite direction and get himself enough space to get his shot off quick. And that's just one aspect while he has the ball in his hand. Off ball, some of y'all are younger players. Some of y'all don't notice how your footwork changes when you're coming off of a screen trying to curl, fade, whatever. There are players in the league that you can see that can't curl coming over their right shoulder. Curl left, right, and get into the exact same jump shot. They come off the screen and they hop. And it's a wasted movement. It gives the defense time to recover, and now they can't get a clean shot off. Whereas with Curry, coming off of either side of a screen is smooth as silk. It's unmatched. And then get into the basket. I think that Kyrie is a better finisher. I will give Kyrie better finishing tactics. I think that Curry is a more unique finisher in the sense of we've seen a left-hand, right-hand floater from both of them. Don't get me wrong. Curry's layup, using every bit of the glass, just not with English,
is just as impressive. Yeah.
Impressive. The fact that he can flip the ball up over 7-footers to the point where they can't block it, and it drops without it. Sometimes it doesn't even need to touch the backboard. It's not the same, but comparable to a Kareem.
Okay.
It's comparable.
So
it's amazing.
So what would you think is more impressive? Kyrie's body contortion, body control, and English, or Steph Curry's ability to keep the ball away from the defender?
I think they're equal. That's why it was such a toss-up for me. They're definitely equal when it comes to that.
I like that.
And the only thing that I could think of to make this decision, we said accolades and stats don't matter. So now I put myself into a scenario. I go to pickup. I'm going to pickup. And I see one dude. I got to pick between the two. I'm looking at one dude be able to break everybody down and, snatch, get into the mid-range, taking ankles left and right, whatever. That's cool. I'm like, damn, I might pick him up. And then I look at the other dude. And I'm seeing him not only be able to be a quick little magician with the ball, but also dish it off when he realizes that he doesn't have the shot that he wants, rather than dribbling into the next shot that he wants. But then also be such a threat off the ball that if I give it back to him, he's getting his shot up quick and I'm getting assists left and right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What I want on my team, that's where the eye test kicks in for me, and I take Curry by this much. At this much.
Well said. I can't do anything but agree with everything that you just mentioned. That was well said. Like I like when you put it like that, when you talk about wasted movement, I don't think people understand the importance of that, because not only is football a game of inches, but basketball is too. You know what I mean? Like one bad screen, one bad pin down, a guy slips it, he gets into the right spot. That could be the difference in you making and missing your shot, contested or uncontested, just like that. You know what I mean? So when you talk about coming off a pin down, hopping into your shot because he can't curl off his left side, he can only curl off his right side. That means something, man. And I think coaches look at that, teams look at that, scouts see that, and they say, hey, let's force this guy to do something he's uncomfortable with doing. And I think the ability to not have wasted movement is a very, very underrated aspect of sports in general.
We talked about something similar earlier. For the people who are like, oh, that doesn't matter, whatever. No, it matters, because we just got done talking about one of the few, if only, weaknesses in Kevin Durant's game early on was the fact that he couldn't get into a clean pull-up off of his right hand because it's awkward trying to get into your shooting motion when the ball is already in your hand. Whereas when the ball's in your opposite hand, you slap the ball over, bring it over, guide hand's already there. Now you can comfortably get your hand behind it. Kobe said himself, once Kevin Durant figured that out, he could never figure him out after that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's deadly. That's
I seen that interview.
It's an honorable mention for me.
Yeah.
Playmaking was also taken into consideration when it comes to the movement that we see from Steph and how he reads defenses, even in something like a pick and roll. Or we've also seen versatility in his game. Who would I rather be as a player? He as a player, talent-wise, I would probably want to be Kyrie because once I get the ball in my hands, y'all can't tell me nothing.
And he's 40% from three though, and that's what's so clever. That's what's so elite about Kyrie's game. Like there's no facet of the game that he can't do at a elite level. I'm not just to get by type shit. Oh, this is what I do offensively, but I can do this too. Nah, bro. Kyrie said it himself. Put me in a post. Like there's against a smaller guard. Like there's nothing this dude can't do. Nothing he can't do. So shout out to Kyrie Irving, man. Shout out to Steph Curry. These are two magicians with the ball, some of the greatest players I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? Even though I didn't have Steph in my most skilled, I value defense from that aspect of it. It doesn't take anything away from how brilliant and remarkable this kid is as an athlete.
Oh, hold on. Let me ask you something. Where's LeBron? Where's LeBron?
Most skilled?
Most skilled. Why he not in there? Break it down to me.
Here's the thing about LeBron, man. I don't want to say LeBron isn't skilled because he is very skilled. He's very talented. But I just feel like I feel like when it comes to the game of basketball, the number one thing I prioritize is scoring. That's why it's first on the stat sheet, right? All of y'all have seen my clips that go viral on TikTok. It's all about scoring. Y'all have seen all of that shit.
Is all about.
It's all about. I'm an offensive guy. It's all about buckets, right? So defense is an add-on to me. Passing is an add-on to me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like unless you're a primary point guard and your job is to get assists, you know what I mean? I get it. But even then, it's all about scoring. And I think from the offensive side of the ball, from an offensive perspective, Kyrie Irving has a bag that's deeper than the Mississippi River, right? So does Tracy McGrady. So does Hakeem Olajuwon. So does Kobe Bryant. And so does Michael Jordan. I just don't think LeBron James' bag gets deep enough to mess with these guys, these five guys I got on this list. Now, not to say that LeBron ain't got a bag, because he does. We all seen that workout tape where LeBron was trying to put it through his legs on the sideline, on the baseline. He was putting it through his legs. He was struggling. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie,
Steph, a limited bag. It's a limited bag.
It's a limited bag. Now, is it productive? Yes. But it's definitely a limited bag. That's why when we had that discussion, when I asked you, who would you go to 5 seconds left, Kevin Durant or LeBron? And I said, give me Kevin Durant all day long because you don't know how Kevin Durant is going to attack you. Everything needs to be guarded. You don't know how he's going to attack you. With LeBron, I can live with something. You know what I mean? I can't live with nothing from Kevin Durant. It's a bucket. You almost screwed. But if I'm the coach and I have to give this kid advice on how to guard LeBron for these 5 seconds, I'm going to say, look, try to sag off. See if you can bait him into shooting that three and get a late contest. Maybe it'll bother him enough for him to miss the shot. What do you tell that same guy who has to do it against Kevin Durant?
So when it comes to Kevin Durant, I told you who I'm picking to guard Kevin Durant in that situation. Everybody ain't
Drew Holiday.
I told you I got to pick Drew Holiday. And the only reason I'm picking Drew Holiday is because no matter what, I need to pick somebody who's going to make him uncomfortable before he gets his shot off. Because if you can force him into an uncomfortable shot, then you're good. We've seen Kevin Durant airball a game winner just this past year. Or season before,
I
whatever,
remember.
right? If I can force him into an uncomfortable shot, I can live with it. But a guy like a Kawhi, a Giannis, a guy that's using his length to make sure that he can get a good contest. I told y'all what my theory is about Kevin Durant. He's just trying to see where he's at on the court, like trying to measure some depth perception from the rim.
There's no such thing as a contest on Kevin Durant.
Exactly. Like you gotta get a hand on that.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is one of those guys that you just gotta hope misses. Now with Kevin Durant, I fear the shot. With LeBron, I fear the decision. And if I'm putting LeBron into a position where he's forced to rely on his teammates, now we've got to take one step further and look at who's around. If you can find somebody to double off of, you're gonna be straight.
And I think, Brandon, I think that leads to why LeBron is always looking to make the right play. Because if you extremely confident in your bag and your ability, you don't feel like there's nothing these guys can do. Kobe is taking this shot over 3 guys because he's like, can't none of them rock with me. I'm confident in getting to wherever I need to go. I don't know if I'm confident with LeBron countdown, getting to this mid-range, pull up. Like,
because against Toronto, I'm comfortable with it.
Look, man, let's wrap this up, man. Let's wrap this show up so we can get the hell out of here. I got one more question for you, man. I want your top 10 players of all time. Right here, right now, give me your top 10 players of all time.
10 to 1? Nah, I'm going to go 1 to 10.
Go 1 to 10.
All right. 1, Mike. 2, Braun. 3, Kareem. I think that's a consensus top 3 in whatever order you put them in. At 4, Magic. At 5, I've got Bird. 6, Kobe. 7, Tim Duncan. Those 2 are interchangeable. At 8, I got Shaq. 9, I got Will. 10th spot. That's where everybody is waiting on. It's between Steph, Keem, and Bill Russell for me. Now, Bill Russell's out. I'm sorry. RIP, but Bill Russell's out for me. Like, he's been out for a minute, actually. So between Steph and Hakeem, you're going to make me make this decision live on the air, huh?
Right here, right now. I need it.
I've got time. I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to go with Keem.
Man, put Steph in that top 10. Don't run from that. My top 10 got updated. After Steph Curry won and did what he did, got that Finals MVP. At 1, I got Jordan. 2, I got LeBron. At 3, I have Kareem. At 4, I have Shaq. At 5, I have Kobe. 6, I got Magic. 7, I got Bird. 8, I have Stephen Curry. 9, I have Hakeem Olajuwon. And 10, I have Tim Duncan. What's understood don't need to be explained. Yeah. I got my reasons for
I can respect it.
I got my reasons for each and every one of them. And it took me hours to make that list. Hours.
You're going to have me on the show again.
Yes.
You're going to have to have me on the show
we can talk again, and we could talk some history because I could dig very deep into that and why I formulated each and every one of those players for why I got them there because I have extensive reasons for why. You know what I'm saying? So my
Let me ask you something beforehand.
Go ahead.
Before we go, let me ask you one thing. I've been a long time follower, so I know exactly why and Bill Russell are not in your top 10, and I respect it. Don't get me wrong. Now let me ask you this: if we were to take the stats of Will and combine it with the accolades of Bill Russell, does that make it into your top 10?
For who? Who are we giving this player to? So the stats. So we just combined it.
Like if we took Bill Russell and Will, I know this is completely.
Who's the player though? That matters. Who's the player?
Will. We'll go with Will.
He's the GOAT.
So Will has the success that Bill Russell did. He's the GOAT.
Bill Russell's a 5-time MVP, 11-time champion. If you telling me there's a guy by the name of Wilt Chamberlain that's a 5-time league MVP, 3 consecutive, right?
Uh-huh.
You telling me this guy has 30,000 points, 18,000 rebounds, 11 championships. What? He's the greatest.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I don't have Bill Russell in this, in my opinion, Bill Russell couldn't play.
I think he's overrated.
We talked about the most.
I have nothing but respect.
Nothing but respect.
Nothing but respect. But I'm not going to sit here and act like, number one, he didn't play with 6 Hall of Famers, and number two, there were only 11 guys in the league. That's why even Wilt is low on my list.
Not even that.
A lot of things that we have about Wilt is speculation on whether he could do it today, number one. Whether he was real at all, I think that was a little ridiculous. But the punishment for the era gets a little too severe from some guys. You got.
Yeah, but the way Wilt dominated that era, though, you see what I'm saying? Like Bill Russell was.
Yeah, that's OG.
Right. Russell was offensively challenged to the T. He was Ben Wallace. So I have no doubt in my mind that if you swap Ben Wallace with Bill Russell, he could have done the same shit. Now, there's not many cats you swapping with Wilt Chamberlain to get that type of production, and that's what makes you elite. That's what separates you from the rest of the pack. I can find guys to swap and do what Bill Russell did. You're not going to find too many guys with a 30-point average. There's only 2 in league history, Mike and Wilt Chamberlain.
2 guys that I could swap with Wilt Chamberlain and get similar, if not the same results.
Wilt Chamberlain, Shaq.
The next generation Shaq. Giannis, no further questions.
Look, man, Brandon.
What's understood don't need to be explained.
Hey, that's my bar, man. Look, man, Brandon. Brandon, it was great to have you on, my man. I appreciate you coming on to the Sports Behavior Podcast. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Look, guys, we got to get the hell out of here, man. It's getting too late. So for everybody that's in here, Dubs, if you're in the chat, if you enjoyed yourself, I'm OG the Beast. That's B-Lottie44. Go follow him on all platforms. I had a great time, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Appreciate this. Appreciate you, man. We gonna get on up out of here, man. OG out. What's up, y'all? OG the Beast here, and I appreciate you tapping into the Sports Behavior Podcast. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate you. But if you want to stay connected with me, go ahead and drop me a follow on each and every one of these socials. That's how you stay locked in, man. I appreciate y'all stopping in. We talk football. We talk basketball here. And once again, you are greatly appreciated for stopping by. OG out.